Well, this Tuesday, Europe is holding follow-up meetings following Monday's White House summit, that European so-called coalition of the willing, trying to lay out next steps. But I think there is still an issue of willingness on the part of all parties to make those next steps happen. Donald Trump wants there to be a direct meeting between President Putin of Russia and President Zelenskyy of Ukraine. But remember, up until now, that's something that the Kremlin has shied away from. The Russian president has even questioned the legitimacy of President Zelenskyy as being the actual president of Ukraine. Donald Trump speaking on Fox News during the course of Tuesday morning, saying that he hopes Putin is going to be good. If not, it's going to be a rough situation. But he did say it's possible Putin doesn't want to make a deal. And that seems to be chiming with some of the comments coming out of the Kremlin this Tuesday. The Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is saying that any participation of top officials, so these direct talks with President Zelenskyy, must be prepared with the utmost care. However, Donald Trump is hoping to get this done quickly. He's laying out a timeline of the next couple of weeks, and he says, really, we'll find out within that time whether or not President Putin wants to make a deal. President Emmanuel Macron of France is suggesting Geneva as a possible location if those talks take place. From the US president's point of view, I think we saw this unfold on Monday. Really, there is a huge willingness on his part to try and make this happen. He wants to be seen as the deal maker, the peacemaker, the man who brings peace to Ukraine after 3.5 years of conflict. And he's going all in. I think we saw that with the fact that he is willing, after a long time of resistance, of throwing US security guarantees behind Ukraine. Europe is on board with this idea of protecting Ukraine in the future, even though it wouldn't be part of NATO. The US president signalling he is also willing to be part of that security contract. But he clarified in his interview on Fox News on Tuesday morning that there would be no US boots on the ground in Ukraine. He said, "You have my assurance," and that will play well with his base. Undoubtedly, the MAGA crowd do not want any US troops positioned inside Ukraine. Donald Trump ultimately said he doesn't want to waste time. He just wants to end it. He wants to get this thing done. And we are seeing incredible momentum in a way that we haven't in many, many years during this conflict. If you contrast it with the previous US president, Joe Biden, his approach was all about exclusion rather than engagement. He tried to make Vladimir Putin a pariah on the world stage, to cut off his revenue streams with sanctions. For better or worse, Donald Trump is taking a completely different approach. The very fact that he spoke to President Putin for 40 minutes on the phone on Monday after meeting European leaders to brief him about what had taken place, I think shows just how different his approach is. But trying to get everything done, trying to get willingness on all parts for the next stage, which would be those direct talks between Russia and Ukraine, I think that is still the incredibly hard part that still needs to get done. Nick Harper, SABC News, Washington.